Hello. So today I'm going to be talking about a new Netflix show that's been pretty popular. It's called Love Is Blind. It's supposed to be a take on some type of like new dating type of thing. If you've seen shows kind of like The Bachelor or maybe shows like Rock of Love, Flavor of Love, it's similar to that. It's kind of like, they meet, fall in love kind of thing. But this one's more similar to kind of like Married at First Sight, if you've seen that one, except for they actually speak and they meet. They just don't have the aspect of knowing what the person looks like or what physical attraction might be there. And so it's supposed to, take the spin off of that. And so basically what happens is each contestant goes into pods, they swap, and they talk for like 10 days, and then they decide after the 10 days if they want to be married or not. And if they do decide and they say I do, then they get married like 30 odd something days later, I believe, and they have to meet each other's families, move in together. But it's supposed to take the spin-off of just focusing on looks when finding love. So one thing that I really liked about this show was how good the camera angles are. Like, I really want to give shout outs to Netflix for that, because some of those shots were really good. Not only is the way that they film it very good, but also like how non-forced I feel like some of the shots are. Like when the guy's talking, they zoom into the girl and they get her facial reaction to like the nice thing that he said, and that's really nice. Some shows, the recording isn't always the best. You don't always get the reactions and how people are reacting to what's going on in real time, so it was really nice to see that. A lot of the conversations on this show that I noticed are not too forced. A lot of them feel very natural and they're not too awkward, so I really like that also. There's not that obvious manufactured drama going on. A lot is just very chill. You see the girls sitting and talking to each other. There's no bittering, no bantering, there's no one bashing each other. It's all very nice and they're all very friendly and cordial with each other, and that's very refreshing to like not be centered on drama, especially when they're dealing with one person possibly falling in love with someone else, And I also like that the cast of this show, a lot of the ages are pretty relatable. Obviously, there are a few people that are like 24 and whatnot, but a lot of them are like 31 and 34. And so I feel like that's like a natural age to be trying to looking for love and getting ready to settle down. A lot of these shows you watch, they're like in their early 20s, and you're like, who's 22 trying to settle down and get married? Not saying that that's not, natural. That is for some people, but for most people in this day and age, it's not too realistic. A lot of people are still in college or just starting their careers. A lot of people aren't looking to get married that early on. Or in this show, obviously with the cast being older, this is, it's a little more believable and a little more foreseeable. I also wanted to say that my two top favorites right now, just from the first episodes, are going to be Barnett. He's a very interesting guy. I see what they're doing right now. Obviously there had to be one love triangle in there, and so we have Barnett, Mark, and Jessica. We see Jessica in the beginning, leaning really towards Mark, even though there's the awkward age difference with her being 10 years his senior, which she seems to be very uncomfortable with. But I kind of like their chemistry a lot more than I did with Jessica and Barnett. I feel like Barnett would probably have been better off with maybe two of the other girls that he was talking to in the beginning when we first saw him. I don't really see him and Jessica working out too well, but that's still up in the air. We'll see who she chooses. Unfortunately, at the end of the episode, she seemed to be leaning more towards Barnett when she was saying she cut off whatever other connection she made. She'll do whatever he needs to have that security to move forward. And so I was a little sad for Mark. I really hope that, she does consider Mark, even though the age gap might be a really big factor. And of course, I think one of the star couples that I think everyone else is probably really liking too is Cameron and Lauren. Oh my gosh, they are an adorable couple. I love their chemistry from the beginning. I feel like they were both just, so very cute, their conversations and their reactions to each other. And when she said, you know, I loved you, and he said he loved her too, and they were just like, it was such a good, genuine moment. I felt like sometimes you feel a little scriptedness when watching these shows, but I felt genuine emotions. Maybe possibility they could just be really good actors, but I feel like there was genuine, they were really happy and they connected with each other, and they were really happy to have found each other. I feel like a lot of their conversations were very easygoing and were very realistic. And just when they decided, you know, right then and there, they're like kind of set on each other. I really like that, and I thought it was really cute. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they go further on in their relationship. And what at the very end of episode 1, we see Cameron and Lauren, and they're finally about to see each other. And I like the way that it's set up to where you know, they have to meet each other in the middle, so it starts to, you know, be a little bit farther away, and then obviously they'll open the doors and they have to make their way to each other. But I just overall, I like the setup of the show. I like the feel of it. It's not too forced. Do I wish they may have showed a little bit more of the other couples? Yes, I feel like they're very centered on just 5 of the same people. Maybe it's because the connections, you know, just weren't there. I could definitely see that. Like with Diamond and Carlton, they were very cute. I could definitely see that they care about each other a lot. They were just, it's not that I see anything wrong with the relationship, it's just they haven't, I just think maybe they didn't give them enough airtime as they gave everyone else. We didn't get to see as much as them as we saw as everyone else, so maybe their conversations are just as good. Maybe they're not, and that's why they didn't show them, but I couldn't tell, and I would not know from what I saw from the show. But I definitely do like that they still showed us a couple of the other contestants in the beginning, where Lauren was talking to one of the other contestants, and he goes, well, you know, I can tell that, you know, you're African American, and she was like, how could you tell? And she's like, I'm not, and, you know, obviously, you know, she was lying. But I like that they showed that that's still something that, you know, that they deal with, even though that it's not something that they regularly showed us. It's a realistic, you know, thing going on, that even though the show is about blind dating, there will still be people that ask for, you know, blatant details that might give off what someone looks like or what their appearance may be, to try to, you know, get a feel for the contestants. But so far I really like this show. I'm excited to see how the next few couple episodes are gonna go, because already we're seeing Lauren and Cameron, and you know, they're already basically agreed on that they're engaged, and we said that they're gonna meet each other soon. So I'm excited at how they're going to basically unite them, how we're going to see them join the two of them together, and, you know, watching them go along and meet each other. So I'm excited for episode 2. We see who Jessica's going to choose, you know, either Barnett or Mark. And I'm also curious to see how Diamond might respond to Carlton in his background, because he was expressing his fear of how she might react with him in his past relationships, and how he, you know, had past male lovers in the past and how she might react. So they only touched on that for a moment, so I'm excited to, you know, see maybe how that turns out, or, you know, how that they'll even show us that, if we get to see that, because like I said, we haven't seen much of them. So I guess we'll just have to wait, watch the next episode and see.